is coming to strengthen the fight against corruption, because when the institution is stronger than individuals, then there will be no excuse to punish corruption. But today in this country, individuals are stronger than institutions. But Atiku Abubakar will make sure that institutions become stronger than individuals, and the fight against corruption there will be robust improvement in the fight against corruption. And there will be severe punishment for corruption. I don't have the details of the Dizani situation, and they've been prosecuting that for close to 8 years. We have not seen any massive results. I have not seen any categorical judgments to buttress that matter. But however, I want to tell you that this administration, there's improvement on daily basis. There's evolution, positive evolution every day in the world. And the successes of PDP in the yesteryears, which cannot be compared with the outrageously calamitous situation we have today. And I also want to say that as you have quoted the Supreme Court judgment in the case of Atiku Abubakar and Buhari from the last presidential election, another judgment has been given by the apex court in the land, which is the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court just gave a ruling a few days ago that PDP, no part of this country was shortchanged, and that PDP committed no offense in picking their presidential candidates from the north. And I think agitators and media men like you should also draw a line, since there's a Supreme Court judgment to that effect. Both Bode George and the Wike group should also exercise restraint from the position of South, because the Supreme Court judgment was very, very clear, and we should use that to unify ourselves as a country and move ahead.
So now you believe that the PDP lost the last election in the spirit of respecting the Supreme Court?
I'm just saying that you have used the Supreme Court as your basis for evaluating the last election. I'm saying use all the last judgment of the Supreme Court to stop discussing frivolities and distractions, and focus on the programs and agenda of the PDP towards winning the next election.
So we can both agree that the last election was lost by the PDP. Thank you so much, Mr. Melaye. Over to you, sir.
I have no agreement with you on that.
Well, that's stating the obvious, isn't it? That's not my point, Senator Melaye. How do you?
Unfortunately, you can't speak for me.
How do you react to the submission by the APC, and if you like, the federal government, about the fact that the economic blueprint of your candidate, Atiku Abubakar, is basically a rehash of what the federal government is already doing in the area of job creation, said. And if you want to push that further, what in specific terms will Atiku Abubakar do differently to turn the tide? We're in dire situation in Nigeria. You have been accused of just basically trying to recreate what is already on ground. What will you do differently outside of the fact that you want to privatize the refineries? What will you do with the fact that you mentioned it yourself, dollar is 700 and something, plus. What will you do differently in terms of power generation? What will you do differently as inflation is skyrocketing? In specific terms, the blueprint that looks like it's aping.
Anyway, I want to start by saying that I'm surprised some individuals are reacting to a statement coming from my uncle Lai Mohammed. I want to believe age is catching up with uncle, and uncle is beginning to say things that you only see in movies.
Your candidate is older than him, though, isn't it?
Intellectual mobility and physical and mental fitness has nothing to do with age. Age is not a factor when it comes to that. Atiku is stable. Atiku is physically and mentally fit. Atiku can jog. Atiku can walk around. Atiku plays sports. So you cannot be comparing him with immobile individuals. Anyway, that is not the situation here. I want to tell you that Atiku campaign organization is doing a lot, or we have done a lot, and all we just need is the opportunity to translate our dreams and our visions into reality. Like, one of the first thing Atiku will do in this country is to have massive recruitment of policemen. It is very, very, it doesn't make any sense that a country of 200 million people is being policed by how many? By 250,000, 300,000 policemen. Atiku has given the example of Egypt, with a population of 80 million people, and they have about 3 million police. So what we will do is massive recruitment of police to tackle the issues of insecurity. And Atiku, to fight the economy, will make sure that the gap between the parallel markets and the parallel price of dollar and the official rate of dollar is breached, because you can never have improvement of the economy with the massive gap, about 235 naira gap between the official price of dollar and the black market or parallel market price. That has to be breached, and processes to make that happen have been completely outlined by the Atiku administration. Atiku will make sure that small-scale industries in this country thrive, because without that, you cannot have a robust economy. Atiku is going to make sure that industrialization becomes one of his first watchword, and job creations particularly. He has told that it's going to create a buffer of 20 million US dollars to make sure that we can't just be concentrating on hydro. There will be diversification of, we're going to engage massively into other sources of energy, and we are going to also work against the primordial factors that limit power generation distribution in this country. And all these have been articulately looked at, and we will implement by the grace of God.
Senator Melaye, just a quick one as a follow-up to what you have said. What will the PDP government under Atiku, if you win, do about the large chunk of Nigerian police officers serving individuals that have nothing to do with government as orderlies? You mentioned the fact that you will recruit a lot more so that you can police better. What will you do? I mean, I can hazard a guess that you probably will have more than 1 or 2 or 3 police orderlies yourself, not being in government at this time. What will your government do with the large chunk of Nigerian police officers serving as orderlies to people who have got absolutely nothing to do with government?
I will tell you that Atiku's approach to the restructuring of the security architecture of this country is very robust, and I want to tell you that everything is holistic. It's an holistic plan to make sure that policemen are in their beats, their professional beats, and only those recommended by law to have security guards and all that will have it. I'm telling you that it is a government that will completely ameliorate our problems. It's a government that is coming to prove that it is possible to do the right thing in this country. It's a government that is coming to prove that the days of wastage, the days of abuse or misuse of the policemen in this and women in this country is over. And I want to assure you that Atiku has sincerity of purpose, of heart and commitment towards rescuing this country, towards repositioning this country. And that is exactly what he's going to do. Atiku is not going to be nepotic like the APC government. He's not going to give carpentry job to tailors. Atiku is a talent hunter, and I want to tell you that square pegs will be in square holes, and there will be results for services rendered. And there's nothing Atiku is looking for again. There's nothing God ought to have done for him that he has not done for him. So at this stage, he wants to live honorably and exit gloriously by making sure that he plays his part in repositioning this country and creating a standard for subsequent government and the younger generations to come and take over after him.
Okay, Mr. Melaye, real quickly. How will your candidate unify the exchange rate? And what will be the resultant effect on the Nigerian economy? How?
You can, the exchange rate now, we're not making, like we've been selling crude oil for the past 2 years and we're not making any money. Saudi Arabia just declared that they made over $1 billion from the proceeds of the increase in the price of crude oil. Well, same crude oil we are selling, but we have nothing to show for it. So corruption also have a role to play, which is going to tackle, is playing a role, understand, in devaluing our currency. Is going to fight that outrageously. Today, there is no direct foreign investment in this country, and we are not making any exceptional dollar. Atiku will make sure that once the environment is conducive, once the enabling tax holidays are given, and and once there's stability in the system in terms of peace, insecurity is being tackled, there will be more foreign direct investment in this country, and there will be generation of dollars. And because of not only that, once you have enough dollar in the system, you will be able to control the gap between the parallel market and but today there's nothing you can say. The central bank and the commercial banks cannot give you what they don't have. Our money has been squandered. Recently, you heard about the illegal bunkering and oil theft that was. They arrested a ship somewhere abroad. Have you heard anything again? How much did we make from that? Where is the money today? So I want to tell you that these are the factors impending against that is also widening the gap because of the scarcity of dollars officially within the system. And once the right thing is done, corruption has been tackled, and there's direct foreign investment, and there's massive exportation from Nigeria instead of importation, then we will generate more dollar, and the gap can be bridged through policy formulations and implementation by the CBN.
Mr. Melaye, I'll rephrase my question. How will Atiku unify the interest rates? I'm not talking about revenue. How will he unify the interest rates? Are you going to float the naira? Because the float is different from the revenue that you get. How? How will he do it? Will he float the naira to the dollar?
What
will he, and what will be the estimated
it's not going to
rates of the naira?
Yes, we are not APC. We cannot begin to promise what we make very outrageous statements and make promises that we know. What I can assure you is that we have a very robust economic team that is working and continue on a daily basis. They are sitting to make sure that we get the best approach into closing the gap between the official rate and black market price of the dollar. And I've told you that we don't have to categorically now begin to I want to say that specifically the issue and the way that dollar gap will be closed will be addressed on Wednesday, and I will not be speaking before that time. But I want to assure you that definitely we have a program. We have our economic team together with our presidential candidate and the vice presidential candidate have sat down to make sure that dollar will be available. And once dollar is available, and once our foreign reserve is strengthened, once the CBN can control the inflow of dollar and the discharge of dollar, then it will have a negative concomitant effect on the black market price.
Will you float the currency for the last time so we know the policy statement on this?
I'm going to tell you, I said whether the naira will be floated or not will be addressed by the presidential candidate on Wednesday. Okay. I will advise you wait for that.
Okay, just a quick one, Senator Melaye. Was the assurance to Nigerians that as we enter into the campaign season, that it will be issue-based, it will be issue-oriented, and not the kind of skits that we had, a few weeks back between your good self and Femi Fani-Kayode, knowing that, all the banters and the exchanges, that we had, skits almost like a Nollywood thing. Was the assurance to Nigerians that, this time around it will be issue-based?
It's already issue-based because what we are discussing now is issues.
It is, but we don't know what FFK, how FFK will respond to you and how you will respond to him.
democracy is noisy, and you can't take noise away from democracy. And I want to assure you that you can't take banters away from politics and democracy. But I want to assure you that the Atiku administration, the Atiku Campaign Council rather, and the PDP is going to concentrate on issues, and what we have been discussing throughout this section this morning are issue-based analysis and discussion. And I want to assure you that we are focused, like I said, we are not going to be distracted by mediocres, we are not going to be distracted by people who have commercialized their consciences. We are just ahead to make sure that we fix this country, and the innocent man on the streets will have hope in a country he can call his own again. So that the youth of this country will have hope that they have a country that they can call their own. So that those absconding unceremoniously, flying out of this country will stop flying, having hope that they can be protected in their own country, having hope that they can make a living in their own country. Our doctors will stop flying, from fleeing Nigeria for greener pastures across the world. This is the hope that Atiku Abubakar is bringing to Nigerians. We are not noisemakers. We are not social media warlords. We are not interested in giving fictitious statistics. We are not interested in deceiving Nigerians. Like the APC. No, we want to come out original, pure. We want to tell Nigerians exactly what the problems are, and we want to tell them how we are going to solve this problem. And the only one who have the capacity, the intellectual know-how, the administrative competence to fix this country today and unite. Civil war, where it is divided. Today, there is no unity at all in this country. Without unity, there can be no peace. Without peace, there can be no development. Atiku is going to make sure that this country is fixed. Atiku is going to make sure that every Nigerian will believe in Nigeria. Atiku is welcomed in the 36 states of this federation. Every state of this country is a home to Atiku. How many presidential candidates can, say that about themselves?
Senator Melaye, how can you say to Nigerians that you will put an end to the Japa syndrome when your flag bearer is a Japa personified, spends most of his time in Dubai? How can you say that to Nigerian and say that you will end the Japa?
That is not correct. That is not correct. Atiku did not relocate to Dubai. Atiku went to further his education, and Atiku went to add value to his life. Atiku went to add value to his intellectual
mobility. He has a university in Nigeria.
For 1 year, Atiku for 1 year, went and got himself empowered and prepared, and that is what today makes him the most adequately prepared presidential candidate in this country. It is not a crime to go and enhance your capacity. It is not a crime to go and enhance your capabilities, and that is what he has done to do. He went to do. He didn't relocate to Dubai by saying that I've fled this country for greener pasture. Okay. There's no greener pasture that Atiku is looking for again. And these are bare panel discussions, just merely to discredit the personality and person of Atiku Abubakar.
Senator Melaye, I saw your power plan.
A man who is relocating may relocate with his children, but he has not done that.
Senator Melaye, I saw your power plan. You want to do a lot on the grid and all of that, but you didn't put how much it's going to cost. And I would like to ask you, how would you fund it, and how much is going to cost your power plan to electrify Nigeria? How?
Atiku is a global citizen. Atiku has his contacts. Atiku will make sure that, yes, the power plant will be funded by his contacts and making Nigeria conducive for foreign investment. Today, you cannot generate money. There's loose funds across the globe begging for where to be invested. And he has the contact to attract this foreign direct investment in the power sector. With build, operate, and transfer, with MOUs and all that, and with proper incentives, he has the capacity to attract international investment in the power sector. And the funding of that problem, we already have a line of programs that will attract those investments. All we need to do is to create an enabling environment for these investors to come. Make sure Nigeria is safe, make sure power incentives are given, make sure that there is all the lacunas are being uprooted, and there will be results.
So, I asked you, how much is it going to cost? This power plan by Atiku, how much?
I cannot tell you in naira figure what it is going to cost, but definitely it will be affordable, it will be cheap, because our team is already working on that.
So if you can't tell me how much it's going to cost, then how do you think you'll be able to fund it? Because I'm not sure you've been able to read through and look at the cost implication of having nucleated grids along the country, away from what we used to know before.
It is.
Do you know the cost implication?
This is all an holistic thing, and to be pointing to very, very minute specifics at this time. Like I told you, this PDP campaign is not coming to lie to Nigerians. It's not coming to deceive Nigerians. But what I have told you is that we are going to generate investors in the power sector that will make power available and affordable. That, I can assure you, is our target and is our goal. But to come here and speak like the other political parties and other presidential candidates who will tell you they will turn water to wine, we will not do that. We're not going to deceive Nigerians. We're not going to tell you that we will build bridges where there are no rivers or where there are no streams. We're not going to come to tell you that once you open your tap, that is fiber life that will be coming out from it. No. We are not going to deceive Nigerians. We are coming out naked to tell Nigerians what the problems are, and then articulately put the position, the ameliorative agenda online.
Mr. Melaye, but your party prevailed over this privatization of the power sector, and nothing came out of it. Even the foreign international contacts didn't want to buy our power companies because it was problematic. So if you cannot do it successfully then, during privatization, how do you want to bring the investors in now? And how, you say you are going to be naked, you need to be able to tell us how much it's going to cost.
I'm telling you now that more work is being done on a daily basis on the power sector. As I speak to you, even yesterday, the team of experts assembled from all over still sat yesterday on the issue of power, and I was there with them. And I can tell you that Atiku was not 100% in charge of this country at that time. And I know that between 2003 and 2004, Atiku gave advice on the privatization of the power sector and was clamoring then for tapping into other sources of energy. But I knew that his advice was jettisoned, and because of that, he did not even attend the meeting where the issue of the NIPP was ratified. These are verifiable facts that you can go and investigate. But I want to tell you that there's always, like I told you, that everything on earth goes through evolution. That they did not get it 100% right at that time does not mean that we cannot get it right. But what we are saying is that this present administration has taken us from ground 60 to ground zero. Atiku is coming to lift us from ground zero to ground 80, 90, because more research have been done. There's sincerity this time around. There's sincerity of purpose, of heart, of commitment towards solving the power sector. And I assure you that that is good. That is the goal of Atiku Abubakar and the PDP.
Mr. Melaye, is constitutional function as the vice president was to prevail over key decisions as regards economic matters. So if you say you couldn't do it before, all of a sudden, how is it going to be a messiah now? And you'll not be able to tell me the cost of your power plan. You said some experts met yesterday. What did they even say about the power plan? Because Nigerians need to know what you're going to do about power. You don't know how much it costs.
I just have to tell you,
and all of that.
Rufai, I just told you that campaigns have not been flagged off. The policy document have not been properly analyzed and presented, and I'm not going to speak before my principal speak. It is when he set the tones that those of us who speak for him will now begin to elucidate on those issues. And I'm telling you that all this as from 28th, after the inauguration of the campaign council, you will get details of all our economic programs and policies. So it is not as if we don't know, but I'm telling you that the unveiling of all those policies and all those structures will be done first by the presidential candidate and his vice, then we can now build up on them. I cannot begin to unveil what he has not categorically stated. So that does not mean we are not prepared. That does not mean we don't know. No, you are very, very wrong in that regard. And I want to assure you that this administration, when in power by the grace of God, you will come back and give testimony on our behalf, either in the mosque or church.
Okay, I see that you have mentioned the APC a number of times, but I've not heard you mention Labour, SDP, and all the parties, or even Peter Obi. Are you saying that the takeaway? Hold on, sir.
When I mentioned...
Yes, just a moment. I'm saying that, yes, are you narrowing the opposition strictly to the APC and ignoring the movement that the obedience seem to be bringing on board? If you saw what happened in Abuja a couple of days ago, that's beyond 4 people tweeting in the room. It looks to me like, there are now 7 people, and that 7 might be the number, the magic number, that Nigerians are waiting for.
My brother, there are 2 sets of people running this election. Okay. Just like if you go to court, they said federal government versus Dino Melaye and others. So in this particular case, you have Atiku and others. That's APC, Labour, NNPP, all of them are others in this regard. And I want to tell you that to assemble crowd is just for you to bring out money. Mobilization is very, very cheap in this country. People are hungry. If you go to Yanya, you go to Mararaba, people who have been loaded in buses from Lugbe, from every part of this country to... Peter Obi was in Osun, and he spoke in Osun, and we saw the result of a Labour Party in Osun. Labour Party had 2,700 votes, where PDP was counting 400 and something thousand. It is not about commercial mobilization of people. People are hungry. Definitely, if you go to Mararaba today, you say you need 5,000 people. With the blow of a whistle, they will assemble, and they will collect their 1,000 or 2,000 naira. That is what is happening. But we are not, it is not the march on the streets that will determine the votes. We are talking of proper votes, and Nigerians know that Atiku is speaking to the issues. We are not on a hype movement. We are not on a impression agenda setting. No. We are practical. We are real. We are interacting with the voters who will come and vote. I know a number of people who went for the Abuja rally who are saying that we have to go and collect our own. So, I mean, that is not what I'm talking about. So when I talk about APC, I talk about APC and others, all of them put together. Nigerians are wiser. Nigerians now know the truth. Nigerians know who will rescue them. Nigerians know who will deliver for them. And Nigerians know that no regional champion has ever become the president of this country. No regional champion has become the... Awolowo was a fantastic leader with every sense of humility and order, very refined man. But because he was playing regional card, he never became the president of this country. Azikiwe played regional card, he never became the president of this country. Buhari himself, on 3 attempts as a regional champion, did not make the presidency. It was when he now went on a national platform, called Saraki, called Atiku, called Tinubu, and everybody put together. He ran on the national platform before he became the president of this country. So I want to tell you that we're not distracted by that imaginary position here.
Okay, Mr. Dino Melaye, thank you so much for your time. But a quick fact check, Nnamdi Azikiwe was president of Nigeria, actually. So just a quick fact check. All right, thank you so much for your time. We'll take a short break.
I said when he ran subsequently in the Second and Third Republic.
No, but he was the first president of Nigeria. Azikiwe was the first president of Nigeria.
Was he elected on the national platform as president? He was a ceremonial president.
All right, we'll take a short break now. When we return, we shall be talking to Osita Ikechukwu, Director General, Voice of Nigeria. Do join us after now.